Oh, right, yeah. Yeah. This come up. Bono's just done Joe Rogan's podcast. And this story come up. And I love this because I'm a massive Dylan fan. And I can't imagine, yeah, that'd be like the worst thing ever to embarrass us. But that's what this is he embarrassed himself in front of Bob Dylan, which I can't think of anyone else that would be worse in my book. Yeah. But I can also understand because I don't. How do you play it cool in front of Bob Dylan? You just be thinking the whole time, this is Bob Dylan, that's Bob Dylan, that's Bob Dylan, there's Bob Dylan. He's just having a and you must be thinking the whole time, don't mention his lyrics, don't mention his songs, don't say. And then the first thing you get to say, you'd be like, so Bob, how long did it take to write this or write Ma, I'm Only Bleeding? And then he'd be like, uh, yeah, long time, right, bye. And you're like, yeah. But it must be hard. And I think he was younger. This is a story from when he's younger. But yeah, let's go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
And now, in that moment, you wake up. It's a bit like the dream where you're naked in front of the whole school, and it's really cold, and 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 then you realize, yeah, your life, as you are realizing yourself now. Oh, how did this happen to me? And how did I get to meet these extraordinary people? And so that's why I wrote the book, Surrender. That's why I did it. But because it was just starting to realize. When I was younger, I was like, yeah, you know. Bob Dylan once asked us, I was 24, and he says, he was recording there. I was going to interview him. And he said, you want to go on stage or whatever and do a song? And I said, well, he said, leopard skin pillbox hat, amazing song. I said, oh, look, the lyrics of that too. And I'd been learning to improvise as a singer, and I went out on stage. And he said, you know, Blowing in the Wind. I said, I probably got that one down, but I didn't. And I just walked out on stage, and I could see it was a home crowd, Ireland. People, oh, wow, it's one of ours is up there with Bob Dylan. Wow, oh, it's Bono. Wow, okay.
That's more
And
embarrassing.
he's going to sing. Oh, my God, he can't sing. Oh, he's changed the melody. Oh, he's changed the words. And you could just see, go down in flames. And afterwards, I see Bob, and I say, look, I'm sorry about that. It's just the way we've been working at the moment. It's just kind of improvising stuff. And he was like, it's okay, you know, everything. I make them up all the time. And he was generous about it. Nothing's fixed in time.
But I was going to say, that's not too bad. Because Bob Dylan is renowned for being a terrible live performer. That he just doesn't care. He doesn't care. And, like, my old man loves him and seen him loads of times. And even my dad said, my dad is a Bob Dylan fanatic. And, like, I was thinking I'd be all right with leopard skin pillbox hat. I love that song. But, yeah, my dad said that. He's like he's been a Dylan fanatic his whole life. And he's like, you go and see him, and it takes you till halfway through the song before you actually realise what it is he's playing. And I was so being on stage with Dylan. I've seen there's a great live of Dylan where he forgets his own words. It's the I can't understand that she let go of my hand, left me there facing the wall. What is that? Ballad in plain D. Is that? But anyway, he starts playing it, and he's just in the live performance. He's just looping it, and the looping of the intro, really in the song, is about 20 seconds. Dylan does it on stage for about 3 minutes, just looping these chords going round, and then he stops and he goes, "Does anybody know the words?" He's like, "I know the second verse, I can't think of the first verse." And someone goes, "I can't understand," and he goes, "Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah," and then he does the intro properly. Like, that's when he's younger and he did play songs like he actually wrote them. But it's a great thing of Dylan, and he just didn't give a shit. And I think personally with Dylan and the live performing, it was after the UK, when he came back to the UK and had a band and everyone was booing him, I think at that point he just thought, because as well, people were still buying his tickets with the intention to go and boo him. And I think at that point, Dylan just thought, fuck the audience. I'm actually trying to do something good, and you hate me for it because it's not what I used to be. So fuck the audience. And I genuinely think that that's been his, yeah, motto throughout his whole career. But it's also what makes him a great artist. He doesn't care. He doesn't care. Like my dad says with the John Wesley Harding album, that that came out, I think, 67, or like round the time anyway where he was having like Sergeant Peppers and all the bands was going psychedelic, and he said, and then Bob Dylan comes out with a straight country album, and it's arguably one of his best albums. I love that album. I'm a Dylan fanatic too. But I was even thinking that because Dylan's words are hard too, because there's a lot of them, and it is getting them in the right order. Um, because it is like his songs are, they're like whole parts. There'd be like three whole parts where the chords and like the melody goes. They're all like it's the same thing trailing off to the end, and then that repeats over. It's like a very simple formula of the music, but it is his words. It's his words and getting them in the right order, and even something like "Blowing in the Wind," which is like his most famous song. Everybody, I think it is the most covered song of all time, in it, "Blowing in the Wind." But even that, you know the words, but it's actually getting them in the right order. And yeah, if you're on stage with Dylan, um, he makes it up as he goes along. Bono might as well have gone up there and just sung one of the songs on the U2 song whilst Dylan was singing his song for as good. Like, do you know what I mean? That's the, like, it's like you've got no chance to just do anything, and it's anything. And Dylan don't give a shit. That to me is not as embarrassing, but I understand he's in front of, like I say, the actual being in front of the Irish crowd, and actually Ireland having someone on stage with someone like a Bob Dylan, and then it is just a shit show. It's probably worse in that regard, but yeah, that's. I thought it was going to be a story where he said something, like I say, about talking about his lyrics. That's what they're saying. In don't say to people about their career. They've heard it. Everyone says they're their biggest fan and they love them and blah 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 blah. And it's like, I think when you're famous like that, that instantly puts people in a certain category of you're not getting any closer. But how could you not? That's what I mean. I would be thinking the whole time, don't mention his lyrics. Don't bring up random lyrics. He probably don't even remember things he's wrote that you're thinking of. And then I'd just blow it out. I'd be like, yeah, so what about when you said this line? This line's great. And the deep meaning behind this line is like, you'd probably be like, I don't even know what song was that in. Yeah. Yeah. Bono, we'll let you off. We'll let you off for that one. I know it's an embarrassing thing, and it, like he said, it really is that dream of going out on stage with an idol and then folding. Like it is that pull your pants down in a, yeah, go in school with your pants down type of thing. But it's Dylan, and without a rehearsal, I don't know anybody that could be good unless you just jammed playing guitar behind him, doing riffs, whatever. But yeah, yeah, we'll let you off, Bono. That weren't too bad. It's kind of expected. I'd actually be more amazed if that went well. But yeah, that's the reaction. Sweet.